Good morning. Hi, y'all. I know I kind of took a couple days off. I just, on a personal note, before I get into this article, I just want to say I get really depressed sometimes, and I don't want to be that doom prophesizer that that makes people feel more hopeless. Okay, I don't want to be that. I want to bring you my commentary. I want to bring you accurate information that you can digest and share with people. I want, and others that do that too. I appreciate their information. I just don't ever want you to give up, because that's what they want. They want to chill us into not speaking out, into not thinking that we can overcome this. That's what they want. And I don't want us to ever want to stop being productive, okay? There are things that we can do. There are organizations that we can join, not just nationally but locally. And I want to focus on those things. So sometimes if I need to step away because I'm just being, that's why. And but anyway, let's talk about Trump. Let's talk about this asshole and his big beautiful fucking mess that he's trying to rope us all into. Now, so the president's visit to address House Republicans at their weekly conference meeting comes at a pivotal moment, testing his deal-making powers. Yeah, we know about his deal-making powers. So Felon 47 arrived on Capitol Hill early Tuesday to try to seal the deal on his big tax cuts bill, using the power of political persuasion to unify divided House Republicans on the multi-trillion-dollar package that is at risk of collapsing before planned votes this week. Trump called himself a cheerleader for the Republican Party and praised the leadership of Speaker Mike Johnson as he headed behind closed doors to rally Republicans. He also criticized at least one of the holdout Republicans as a grandstander in a warning to others. "We have a very, very unified party," he said in the hallway in remarks at the Capitol. "We're going to have an available one big, beautiful bill." What's his deal with that, with the words? Russia, 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 Ukraine, 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 big, beautiful bill. I mean, these are mental glitches that we need to be paying attention to. Because I'm going to tell you, as people get older and as dementia increases, cognitive things increase, so does their statements of absolutism, okay? The lies will get bigger and bigger and bigger and crazier. And we're watching that happen before our very eyes. I know we all saw the viral moment yesterday when he was, yeah. Anyway, the president arrived at a pivotal moment. Negotiations are slogging along, and it's not at all clear that the package, with its sweeping tax breaks and cuts to Medicaid, food stamps, and green energy programs, has the support needed from the House's slim Republican majority. Lawmakers are also being asked to add some $350 billion to Trump's border security, even though Kristi Noem has illegally used all the money from Homeland Security for ICE maneuvers. Well, and costumes, of course, because she's got to look cute. Conservatives are insisting on quicker, steeper cuts to federal programs to offset the costs of the trillions of dollars in lost tax revenue, which is what we should all be talking about. Why are they saying that they're against fraud and waste when they're on one hand and with the other handing themselves trillions of dollars in tax cuts? Because it doesn't make any sense, and anybody with half a working brain can see this. I hope you all saw the people that showed up, all the people that rely on Medicaid in wheelchairs yesterday. 40 of them got arrested. Conservatives, anyway, at the same time, a core group of lawmakers from New York and other high-tax states want bigger tax breaks for their voters back home. Worries about piling onto the nation's $36 trillion debt are stark. "I think it's pretty obvious that they're going to need more time," said Representative Andy Harris, Republican from Maryland. He's the chairman of the House Freedom Caucus. "These are complicated issues with trillions of dollars. We've got to do this thing right." Trump's visit to address House Republicans at their weekly conference will test the president's deal-making powers. The Republican Speaker Johnson is determined to push the bill forward and needs Trump to provide the momentum, either by encouragement, political warnings, or a combination of both. You mean threats. You mean threats to primary them. White House Democrats lined up against the package. GOP leaders have almost no votes to spare. A key committee hearing is set for the middle of the night, Tuesday, in hopes of a House floor vote by Wednesday afternoon. At 1:30 in the morning tonight, this is when they're going to try to push this shit. Democrats argue the package is little more than a giveaway to the wealthy at the expense of health care and food programs Americans rely on, which is true. They literally are trying to take health care away from millions of Americans at this very moment in the dead of night. If this legislation is designed to make life better for the American people, can someone explain to me why they would hold a hearing to advance the bill at 1 a.m.? Trump has been pushing hard for Republicans to unite behind the bill, which has been uniquely shaped in his image as the president's signature domestic policy initiative in Congress. Asked about one of the conservative Republicans, Representative Thomas Massie of Kentucky, Trump lashed out. I think he's a grandstander, frankly. I think he should be voted out of office. The sprawling 1,116-page package carries Trump's title, the One Big Beautiful Bill Act, as well as his campaign promises to extend the tax breaks approved during his first term, while adding new ones, including no taxes on tips, which isn't true. That's very misleading. Automobile loan interest in Social Security. That's bullshit. Yet the price tag is rising and lawmakers are wary of the votes ahead, particularly as the economy teeters with uncertainty. The Committee for Responsible Federal Budget, a nonpartisan fiscal watchdog group, estimates that the House bill is shaping up to add roughly $3.3 trillion to the debt over the next decade. That's a conservative estimate from what I've heard. Some Republicans criticizing the measure argued that the bill's new spending and tax cuts are front-loaded, while the measures to offset the cost are back-loaded. In particular, they're looking to speed up the new work requirements that Republicans want to enact. They had been proposed to start January 1st of 2029, but Steve Scalise said on CSNBC that they want them to start in early 2027. At least 7.6 million fewer people are expected to have health coverage under this on the Medicaid changes, the nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office said last week. You know, it's at its core, this legislative package permanently extends the existing income tax cuts and bolsters the standard deduction, increasing it to $32,000 for joint filers and the child tax credit to $2,500. So, you know, this is a disaster for people like me, for people that don't make more than $30,000 a year, people who are on Medicaid, people who subsist basically off Social Security because they have, pending back surgery, and now they're in the middle of this other surgery. Like, people like me that need Medicaid right now are going to really get fucked. And all those people in wheelchairs that barged into the reconciliation meeting yesterday, 40 of which got arrested. I didn't hear about that in the United States media. I heard about that in an Australia show. So, yeah, our media once again is failing us, which is why it is more and more important for us to be sharing things with each other. Thank you very much. Thank you for understanding.